Okay guys, I'm going to show you how to finish up your landscape plans in AutoCAD. The first thing you guys want to do, we're going to pretend that my backyard's awesome and it's not just a blank slate like it looks like. And then the first thing you want to do is make sure everything is labeled really well. You don't need to label everything more than once. So for instance, I got a tree here. The same symbol was used here, so I don't need to label. I can assume that these are the same tree. If I zoom in a little closer, same with these guys. I can assume that these guys are all the same plantings because they have the same symbol used. So I don't need to label one of them. But I'm going to come in here, I'm going to use my leader tool, and I'm going to point. I want to point to the edge of whatever I'm labeling, and click, and I can put in red maple. Close text editor. And now I get this leader that's really small, so I can fix this. And I always use my properties, it's always up, and I'll close it just to show you if you don't have properties up, it's just PR. Brings up your properties, okay? You can always minimize it so it's not always taking up space and then just kind of come to when you want. So anyways, I'm going to click on my leader, properties, and I'm going to change my arrowhead size because I can't see my arrow to, I'm going to try a 2. All of a sudden my arrow pops up, a good size there. If I do my text, it's good to do text about the same size, and you guys don't have to use the same size I'm using, but you can do something that you guys like. Red maple, just like that. Now that's a little bit, I want to mess with it a little more. I'm actually going to pull it out a little farther here. There we go. Now that looks good. Then I can do it one more time. And let's say I'm going with these, putting these shrubs here. And I'm going to call these burning bush. Close text editor, same thing. Properties 2 and height 2. And then I might just want to pull this out a little farther away from here, and that should look. Oops. There we go. Click on this guy. That should look pretty good there. One thing you don't want to do is have your text labels look like this, going back. You want to either use this size or this with an obtuse angle in there like that. Now once I've done it twice, the nice thing is I don't have to do it anymore. I can just grab, this is the copy command, and I can put something up here, change my pointer to point to this guy, and I can change this to like Gladiator Lily. And I can go ahead and copy and paste like everything. The other thing you guys want to do is things like, big things like the lawn, for example. I'm just going to use a text box. And with the text box, I would just type in lawn. Close text editor. Really small there, same as before. Properties, change my text height to the same as the rest of them. Want to make sure my text heights are all the same, and then I can put lawn in there, like so. So that would actually be for a whole area. You wouldn't point to that one. You can do other things here. If I double click on it and highlight, I can change my style, and whatever I do, I want to change the style for everything. I could do all caps. You can play with it how you want. Let's pretend like I like this size. I like the uppercase, lowercase, and so forth. So now I want to get ready to set it up and plot it, get ready on a sheet with a title block. So go to layout 1. I'm actually going to delete this. Okay, I'm going to delete this text. And in your pickup boxes is another file called class title block. Okay, there it is. What you're going to do is open that up. You're going to select the whole thing. Control C will copy. I can then go back here, Control V, puts it in right there. Now, that does not fit, obviously. So, a couple things. You change my size, print size. I'm going to type in plot. Change my printer plotter. I need to go to the DWG to PDF because I need something that's going to print a bigger size. The printer 10 won't print the size that I want. And I need to go with Arch D 36 by 24. This one's fine right there, just like that. I'm going to go pull this guy out here. Oops, not the one I want. I actually want 24 by 36 because I want this orientation. You'll see why in a second. And I pull this guy out to make sure it is portrait. You guys can close that if you want. Keep it open. Apply to layout, and I cancel. And that gives me my page size. Okay, that's the page size I want. Take this guy, select him, and if I turn on my ortho mode, well, lets me move at 90-degree angles, and I type in OR for rotate, I can then rotate this guy perfectly like that and get him in the sheet that I want. The reason I did this is because this is how the landscape comes in, so I want to have something in there. Turn off ortho now, it's done with that. Fits correctly. So there is that. Okay? You could obviously change, you obviously need to come in here and change things. For example, the date would need to be changed to 6/6/2013. This is not the project anymore. Meyers Pad. Call it what you want as long as it's appropriate. You can make up an address. 23, again, appropriate, especially when you're thinking of your address numbers. 23.
Please excuse this interruption, but we have a quick reminder that any junior or senior going to Gold Beach football camp, there is a meeting at lunch in Mr. Bailey's room. So juniors and seniors, Gold Beach football meeting, Bailey's room.
Okay, sorry for that annoying announcement. And then I'm going to go ahead, and you guys can play some of this more when you need to, but that gets us started. I'm going to make sure my depth points layer is selected. There it is, depth points. And it is blue. I gave it a weird color. Make viewport MV. And I'll bring in my drawing. There it is. Now, almost done, almost ready to go. You have all your titles in there, looking good. One thing I want to do is I would need to have a scale, an accurate scale that you can measure off of. So I'm going to click here on my viewport, go to my properties where it says standard scale. It's custom right now, and you change this to something that works. You guys can play with what you like. 1 to 10 is a pretty good one, but it's a little small to fit in the sheet. So we can do 1 to 5. That is not bad, maybe a little big. Maybe I can make that work if I just double clicked in here, move this down a little bit. Make sure I got my viewport big enough. It looks like it's just going to be a bit too small, so go properties again. Let's try the 1 to 8. And that seems to fit pretty good. Then what needs to happen is I need to change a couple things here in my scale. For example, my scale no longer is this. I now have a 1 inch equals 8 feet. So that's what I set it to. So I need to change this, and I can go DIST just to verify that this should be an inch. 3/4 of an inch, no. So I'm actually going to go ahead and delete this. And I'm going to go in here. Oops. CO. Turn on ortho mode because I want it to be perfectly in line with it. And now I can change 1 inch equals 8 feet. There you go. That works. Change my north arrow if I like. Turn off ortho mode. Pretty close. I want it to fit the whole way in, so I might select it. SC is for scale, also up here. And just shrink it down a little bit. Or if I want north to be out of the way, I could have just left it how it was. And that would be acceptable too. There you go. Once you guys have this all set up, that is what you need to do. For extra credit, you guys can plot them. Otherwise, you can turn it in like this. Just raise your hand and show them buyers. All right, enjoy, guys.